The Chassahowitzka River, or as locals call it, the Chaz, is taken from an Indian word meaning pumpkin hanging place. This 5-mile-long river located just south of Homosassa should have been named where the rocky river will eat the lower unit of your motor. But its springs offer a warm water winter retreat for fish, manatees, and families. Once you leave the boat ramp and the spring area, you'll find a very pristine river that runs west to the Gulf. As you head to the Gulf, you'll find some places where the depth is a foot or less, so a shallow draft boat or a canoe or kayak is a must in this area. This trip took place in January, and the benefit of that is that the warm water of the springs drew all the fish like snook and mangrove snapper up into the river, and it was pretty much a feeding frenzy the whole time that I was here. Though the fish aren't large, this is a great place to come with the young anglers so they can have plenty of action. To catch the fish, I'm using my trolling motor to go along the shoreline, looking for snags or where trees have fallen into the water, casting those with a Ned jig, which is a very small 1/10 of an ounce lead jig head with a 2.5-inch long plastic body. The color of the body doesn't really matter too much here. I was having success with both a white and a brown colored body. You can also use beetle spins or any other small jig for that matter. And then also the other lures that were favorites of the locals were rapalas, the floating models in shad color in sizes 5, 7, or 9. The rapalas are especially good for the snook and the black bass that are in this area. Speaking of snook, as you're drifting down the river, keep your eyes open. The snook aren't everywhere, but you'll find them in very specific areas. If you'll work those areas, you will be rewarded with a strike. But just because you hook them doesn't mean you're going to land them. Fortunately, I was able to sight fish some snook on this trip. Unfortunately, all the snook seemed to be hanging out right in the middle of the channel where the boats were running. So during the fight, I'd have to keep listening for boats coming and then jump on the trolling motor to pull the boat out of the channel. None of the snook got over 20 inches, but they were still a lot of fun to catch. In addition to fishing in the river, this area is known for great trout and red fishing where it meets the Gulf of Mexico. Unfortunately, the wind was blowing pretty hard out by the Gulf, so I didn't spend too much time here. But I was able to catch some aerobatic ladyfish while I was in the area. If you do have to seek refuge from the wind, there are a lot of really interesting side creeks off of the Chaz to investigate. Some of these side creek areas offer great locations for primitive camping. You can also find primitive camping sites along the main channel of the Chaz. On this particular afternoon, I didn't set up any primitive camps, but I did decide after pulling around for about an hour to take advantage of my hammock in this beautiful setting. This is why I live in Florida. Well, after the siesta, I had to give it one more try to catch some more fish. So just a couple of more casts, and the fish were very cooperative. What a great way to spend an afternoon. Beautiful blue sky, crystal clear water, and hungry fish. If you're interested in planning your own trip to the Chaz, I stayed at the Chassahowitzka River Campground, and they have all the facilities that you need. They have a full RV hookup area, they have tent camping, and the spot I had plenty of room for my boat. In a short walk from the campground is a camp store where you can rent kayaks and canoes, and also any other supplies you may need. Next to the store is a boat ramp and a family-friendly fishing dock. Thanks for joining us on this trip. Please like and share the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next adventure.